Hi, my name is Eskil Steenberg, and in this video,
So
I'm
here
going
we
to
have
show
our
you
ledge,
how to get up a
and we're gonna see
ledge
if we can
in my
find a good
game
way
love.
to
get up. Obviously, it's too high to jump, but there's a cable relay here, and we can direct this cable relay to a cable relay on the ledge, and then we can just simply walk into it and ride up the cable. The cable relays are used for all kinds of stuff, not just moving people, but moving items and things you can find in the world. Another way of doing it is using a bomb pod. A bomb pod is an explosive gun that the artificial intelligence uses quite a bit. It's kind of deadly because it can destroy environments. So next, we will try to use a teleporter. So I'm going to use my binoculars to record the position of a teleporter that I want to go to. And then I'm going to go to a teleporter and set it to that coordinate and simply walk into it. And now I've teleported up the ledge. So in the game, there are these pods you can build, and all the pods create some kind of field. So here we're going to use a bounce field, which is a field that makes everything inside of it bouncy. So you can fire bullets in there, you can jump, and now I'm actually stacking a whole bunch of these pods so I get a very strong field. So now you can see I can jump very, very high. This can be a very, very powerful thing to use when you try to get up somewhere really tall. Here's an object called the Stomper, and the Stomper liquefies the ground so you can use your building tools to modify the world. And all I need to do is direct some power to it, and it will start stomping away. So now I can bring out my smooth edit tool and start editing the environment. So I can, for instance, cut down these tall edges and use that as ledges to jump up where I want to go. But the entire environment gets buildable like this. Another really useful pod you can get is the acid pod. So the acid pod just melts the environment. So you can see here, you can just throw it wherever you want and it starts working away. It's quite powerful actually, and again, you can use multiple of them to get a really powerful effect. So I think I'm actually going to sort of just throw down a couple of them here in the ground. You can see that it starts eating away at the environment. It's quite violent actually. And this one will dig down pretty deep, so it will even go down below groundwater. So let's actually jump down and see what it looks like. So now you can see it's pretty deep down. Next, I'm going to use a cable pod. So this is, if you're already up on a ledge, you can throw a cable pod down like this. And then whenever you want to get up again, you just grab it and you're back up. So that's a very useful tool. Next, we're going to use a burster. So this is an item you can put pods inside of. Now I'm going to put an ice pod into this. And when I do, a huge ice block is going to appear. Now normally the ice pod is used for things like freezing water and things like that, but with this device you can build a little thing you can climb. So that's very useful too. Another pod is the build pod, and it basically just builds. So it's kind of the opposite of the acid pod and just creates this massive piece of rock that just keeps growing. So obviously I can use this. It's kind of full of smoke right now, but I can use it to jump up and get up on the ledge. Here's yet another pod that we're going to use. It's a brittle pod. So I start by throwing it up here, and then the little bubbles will appear, and everything within those bubbles will actually become brittle. So now I can use my basic gun and just blast the whole side and open up a way for me to jump up. Pods in general are very powerful, and not only can you throw them like this, you can put them inside machines and force fields and make them do all kinds of fun stuff. And one of the fun things you can do is infuse yourself with them. So here I've infused myself with a teleport. So now I can basically just blink forward. I just click a button and boom, I go forward. It's a very fast way of transporting yourself. Another interesting thing you can do with infuse is simply infuse yourself with a wind pod. So here I created a wind pod and I put in this infuser and walked into the infuser. So now I can say I can just basically fly up because I kind of have a wingsuit, so I can just glide along. So this is a really, really cool ability, especially if you use it together with, say, a bounce pod, which means you can get very high. Another way to get really high is this. This is a balloon. And the balloons are used by a certain race of the AI, and they use it to attack you, and they use for all kinds of stuff. And it will basically just lift you straight up for a while, and then the winds will take you away. So right now it could jump down on the ledge, or I could just let it go. So right now we're actually going in the wrong direction, but normally that wouldn't matter too much because we can just wait for a while, and since the planet is round, eventually we'll actually get back to where we started. However, when I recorded this video, I had a little mishap. So this is a blue settlement, and they happen to be dominating the world right now and not very friendly. So you're going to see that in a second I'm going to run into one of their static defenses, which is this big Tesla coil that is basically going to fry me. So I should have jumped off earlier. Another thing that can happen sort of worldwide is that when the blue people get occupied, they stop controlling the weather. And then you can notice that by it starting to rain. So the rain itself isn't that bad, but you can see that the sea level's rising. So this gives us yet another way to get up our ledge. We could just wait for the seas to rise, and when it's high enough, we can basically just swim up. This is a radical way that the world can change. Now, if we tried all these different ways and they all failed, we could always find another way to get up, and that is to basically just take the stairs. Love is a game that I've developed myself, and it's free, so please go to my website and download it and play it. And if you can, please donate whatever you can to support my development.